Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's Monday, October the 19th. So, the Queen of Wokeness plans to dial it back to protect Harry's standing with his family. Well, I wonder if that's true. Disclaimer, full disclaimer can be found down below in the description box. Crystal, thank you for this. If 2020 is telling us anything, it's telling us to enjoy the moments you have and don't take any day, anything, or anyone for granted. This is a beautiful dog, and the photo was taken at the Scottish Highlands, and it was taken by James Middleton, Duchess Catherine's brother. It's absolutely gorgeous. It looks like what you would imagine heaven to be like. That golden retriever. James Middleton launches a dog food named after one of his pooches and opens up about his mental health. I think that's one of the reasons she's so passionate about mental health, because of her brother-in-law and also her brother. So, World's Greatest Bananatarian, post is Crazy Days and Crazy Nights, blind item number 7 from Thursday, October the 15th. The reporter, who is the lapdog of the illiterate one, earned his pat on the head today with the trashing of the head of the family. He did let it slip to a friend, though, that the house is just a rental and not owned. Thank you, Crystal, for this. I thought this rather funny and thought we could use a comical moment. That moment when you're worried about the elderly, and then you realize you are the elderly. That's what I think me and my girlfriends will look like. Thanks, Louise. And thanks, Royal Instablog. Express says Meghan Markle hated Harry playing second fiddle to Kate and William, says Piers Morgan. Meghan Markle couldn't stand Prince Harry playing second fiddle to Kate, Duchess of Cambridge, and Prince William, Piers Morgan has claimed, written by Emily Ferguson. Piers Morgan made the scathing assessment of Meghan Markle in an exclusive interview with Express.co.uk, where he suggested the Duchess was miffed at the royal hierarchy. The GMB host was commenting on the reported feud between the Sussexes and the Cambridges, which he says contributed to Meghan and Harry's decision to quit the royal family. I too think she was very jealous. When discussing whether the fact Prince William and Kate would one day be king and queen fed into the couple's feud, Mr. Morgan said it would certainly have been a sore subject. Speaking to the website, the journalist said, "Well, I think that's always been a running sore for Meghan Markle in particular. Well, why should Prince Harry, have to play second fiddle to these two? Well, because William is going to be king." It goes on to say, the GMB presenter, when compared the differing roles of the Cambridges and the Sussexes, have played during the coronavirus crisis. He heavily praised Kate and William for the numerous virtual calls and visits they carried out during the lockdown, followed by the face-to-face visits once restrictions had lifted. But Mr. Morgan did not share the same sentiments when it came to Meghan and Harry. He said, "I think the way the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have conducted themselves during the pandemic has been starkly at odds, and the Sussexes, and to their great credit, they understand what to do." And I agree. I think that Kate and William are very much that way, and that they have continued on with their duties, and despite what Meghan and Harry were doing. I thought Harry understood that, but he has got no interest in duty. He has been completely bamboozled in a way that we saw the last time American lady entered the royal family. Mr. Morgan further discussed the issue of the two couples in his new book, Wake Up. He wrote, "The reality is that Meghan and Harry have brought this ugly situation entirely on themselves and should somehow find the strength in their faux victim-ravaged, virtue-signaling, self-obsessed souls to admit it has nothing to do with racism and everything to do with their fragile egos, and a simmering feud with the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, who will always be more important in the royal family as they will one day be king and queen. Again, he praised the Cambridges alongside other senior royals for doing their bit during the coronavirus pandemic, but heavily criticized Meghan and Harry. The GMB presenter said Meghan and Harry have gone to Hollywood to relaunch their careers as full-time celebrities, only to find the whole world shutting down due to coronavirus, and celebrities being displaced by health workers as stars in most people's eyes. To compound the irritation, the other senior royals back home in Britain, led by the Queen, Prince Charles, and Camilla, and the Cambridges, have been doing their duty in a quietly, stoically, magnificent way praised the Cambridges for raising morale and helping support charities during the pandemic. Mr. Morgan has been a very vocal critic of Meghan, despite the pair once being friends. He explained the Duchess reached out to him several years ago, prompting the pair to meet up over a drink while she quizzed him for advice on handling the media, against other things. And we know that this was the first night of her first date with Harry, so when she left Piers at the pub, she hopped in a cab and went to meet Harry. The journalist said he understood their relationship as a friendship, but she soon ditched him and moved on. Wake Up! Why the World Has Gone Nuts by Piers Morgan, and published by HarperCollins, and is out now. Thanks, Karina, for this article. This is from the Daily Mail, written by Frances Mulroney and Chloe Morgan for Mail Online. Meghan Markle wears Princess Diana's 17,800-pound Cartier watch, a 5,000-pound Cartier bracelet, and the Alexander McQueen suit from her first evening engagement as a royal in photo with Harry to promote talk about building a better digital world. And you can see all the things that they're talking about, the price of her total outfit and how much everything costs there. Meghan Markle appears in a new official photograph with Prince Harry wearing a family heirloom once belonging to Princess Diana and the same Alexander McQueen suit she wore to her first evening engagement as a royal. The new picture of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex was released Friday to coincide with the news that the couple will host a special edition of Time 100 Talks on the state of our shared digital experience on Tuesday. Now, this is the couple that wants to tell us that there's misinformation out there and that people are being hateful and cruel online, and that she no longer, or hasn't for a couple of years, participated or been online in social media, which we all know she has her alias accounts, and that she's very much aware of what goes on social media, as she was herself addicted, and I'm sure still is, but stands on her soapbox, and she and Harry want to preach to us about being addicted like drug addicts in comparison to just being an online user. Unbelievable. Presented in partnership with P&G and themed around the topic of engineering a better world, the special episode is set to reflect the royal couple's focus on building online communities that are more compassionate, safe, and trustworthy, while she continues to spew her lies and from her mansion wants to tell us all about how we should live our lives, what we should be able to post online, and what advertisers should be sponsoring as far as online content goes. They want to sponsor her. She wants them to pay for her to go online and speak, but no one else should have that same advantage. While Meghan, 39, is wearing a favorite suit costing almost $3,000 in total, her jewelry racks up a hefty bill, including $350,000 or 271,000 pounds, an engagement ring at $23,000 or 17,800 pounds, Cartier watch that used to belong to her deceased mother-in-law, Princess Diana. So, Daily Mail also says Meghan Markle could pedal back on her woke speeches after realizing it puts Prince Harry's relationship with his family at risk, a royal expert claims, written by Haley Richardson from Mail Online. Do we really think that she is going to change the way that she speaks, or that the different things that she's involved with, that she's going to change those? I'm sure she doesn't want to do anything to cut off the funding that goes to them, or that would be there to catch them when they fall and can't afford to pay for the mansion that they live in. But she takes every opportunity to lash out at the monarchy and to tell us all how she was mistreated and how she's the most trolled person online, which all of these are lies. Meghan Markle may pedal back on some of her woke speeches after realizing it puts Prince Harry's relationship with his family at risk, a royal expert claimed, and that she has recently been outspoken on a range of hot-button issues, including the addictive nature of social media, Black Lives Matters, and voter suppression, as well as getting involved in the U.S. elections. And people and sugars out there say, but she didn't tell anybody to vote for Biden. Well, if you look at her other speeches and if you look at TV interviews that she's had, she's called Trump a misogynist, divisive, and that she said that she would never come back to the U.S. and live as long as he was president, which she did that. But she's done everything she could to get involved to trash him. But yet they say she's not telling anybody who to vote for. Well, when you go on public interviews and you go out to the press and you tell people negative things about the current sitting president of the United States, and then you go on to tell people about this really is the most important election, it's obvious, but yet people will say she hasn't done that. But these are the people that aren't able to think for themselves and are led very easily by this narcissist. The biographer Robert Lacey, whose most recent book, Battle of Brothers, picks apart the rift between the Prince William and Harry and said that it has dawned on Meghan that her speaking out about more extreme subjects could be detrimental to her husband's position within the royal family, which I'm surprised by Mr. Lacey saying this, because I was going to buy his book until I read some more excerpts from it, and it appears that he says that Meghan doesn't have anything to do with it when we know clearly that she does. I'm sure all brothers have had rifts, and I'm sure Harry felt like that, he was second fiddle. Well, he was. He can't help that William was born first and is heir to the throne. He also claimed the Duke of Cambridge has been proved right to have had concerns about the former actress, causing problems within the firm. And this was from her fortune speech. And she looks very unprofessional. She divvies up more word salads and talks about, how we're all addicted to social media. But anyway, the Black Lives Matters, she talks about the addictive nature of social media. And here's a picture of her, and this was for the Fortune's Most Powerful Woman's Next Gen Virtual Summit. Thank you, World's Greatest Bananitarian on Instagram. Go give her a follow. Prince Harry will not attend the remembrance service next month on the Cenotapht's 100th anniversary because he is no longer a working royal. Well, finally. And these are some of the comments that were posted under the article from an ex-British military officer. I'm a third-generation Royal Air Force, and my grandfather, my father, my uncle, my brother, and I all swore to serve Her Majesty and her successors, if necessary, to the death, to protect our country. We didn't plot, scheme, plan, manipulate, or set about to walk away from our duties, responsibilities, or tasks to benefit ourselves. We stood fast and true to these vows that we all made, many times in horrific situations, because that was our duty, which we stood by for decades. Henry, or Harry, will not be missed, and neither is he, or anyone with his values, wanted to stand out and honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice. He ran away. He turned his back. He left his duty. He was taking privileges with him that he is not entitled, because with those privileges comes duty, and he turned his back on not only Her Majesty, but he took her grandson with him as he did it. He is dishonorable, disloyal, and a selfish disgrace. I think many people feel this way, but I'm glad to hear them speak out. Harry and his venal wife should not be permitted to attend any royal events. The dim-witted man-child, Harry, has abandoned Queen and country, egged on by his narcissistic bully, Meghan Markle, who has abandoned her own ailing father. They bring disgrace to the monarchy and should be held accountable for exploiting their royal titles in order to merge themselves and interfere in the U.S. election. Harry should be removed from the line of succession, and the HRH, the titles, and patronage of both of these hypocritical grifters should be stripped now. Another viewer says, never a soldier anyway, that lad. I was in special forces, and we used to take the blank out of him. Little boy he was. Mary says, just as well Harry will not be attending the remembrance ceremonies. He is a disgrace to his former comrades in arms. He has disrespected Her Majesty, the nation, and the Commonwealth by abandoning his royal responsibilities. Dead Normal from the UK says, good. The service is to remember the loyal and brave, not some lanky quit-twit. God bless our Queen and our working royal family members. Lots of love. He represents nothing, says Vivi. Nothing now to warrant his attendance. Him and the bitter wife need to get on with their life away from the royal ties. Shut up and stop being vindictive. I agree. Thank you all for watching. I'm working on another video that I started yesterday, as well as I'd completed this yesterday, but was a little tired and didn't want to appear sleepy like I have on some of the other videos. But I want to thank you for watching. I thank you for all of your comments. I love interacting with you and watching you interact with other members of our community. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you'll do so. Subscribe and helps a YouTube creator. I don't ask for money. I've never been paid a penny of money from YouTube. I think I've accounted or accrued a little bit around $100, and I've been doing this since end of March, beginning of April. So, and I don't have a Patreon account. I don't set up a PayPal account to ask people to buy me a coffee. If you want to help me and you want to see more videos like this, the way you could help me is simply to subscribe. You can create a Gmail account, set up an account. It's very easy on YouTube, and then you can subscribe. You can comment on the videos, and I hope that you're enjoying them as much as I'm enjoying making them for you. Have a blessed week. I hope everyone is doing well. Stay safe and be kind to one another. And I'm not saying that because Megan does. It's just a very sad time that we're all going through. But, you know, this too shall pass. So thank you again for being so loyal. Thank you for being supportive. Lots of love to each of you. Have a great week. Goodbye.